Welcome to Solve It with Sir Jude. Today we will be dealing about equations transformable to quadratic equations. This topic is included in the most essential learning competencies that was given by the Department of Education. This is actually lesson 3. Nasa week 3 na tayo ng ating Mathematics 9. So ano ba yung mga equations transformable to quadratic equation? Of course, these are equations that can be expressed as ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. And if you can remember, this form is the standard form of quadratic equation. Meron kasing mga equations na kapag simplify natin using the properties na tinalakay natin during the previous lessons, like for example, FOIL method, distributive property, addition property of equality, and other properties of equalities, we will find out na quadratic equation pala sila. Okay? So here are some of the examples. We have x times the binomial x minus 3 is equal to 10. Where in fact, if we are going to apply distributive property, we will find out na quadratic equation pala siya. Same with this one. The square of x minus 2 plus the square of x plus 3 is equal to 53. Okay? So meron tayong isa pang kino-consider na equations transformable to quadratic equation. Yun yung rational equations. Pero hindi lahat ng rational equations kayang i-transform sa quadratic equation. So ano ba yung rational equations? These are equations in fractional form. Okay? Pero kailangan nating tandaan na yung denominator ay bawal maging equal kay 0 because it will be undefined. Ayan. So in dealing with this kind of equations, we need to check if the roots or solutions will satisfy the original equation. Pero ano namang tawag doon sa mga solution na hindi magsasatisfy doon sa original equation? Kasi nangyayari na merong ibang mga values ni x or ng mismong variable na kapag sinabi sa Jude, hindi siya magsasatisfy. So those roots and solutions are what do we call as extraneous solutions. Okay? So these are solutions or roots that do not satisfy the given equations. So let us have some examples of rational equations na pwede natin i-transform into a quadratic equation. So here are some examples. Ayan. Si 7 over x plus 3 is equal to x over 4. Same with this 2. Okay? Yan. So let us have example number 1 given by x minus 2 times x plus 3 is equal to 14. Sa unang tingin, parang hindi quadratic equation, pero let us simplify using the FOIL method. Okay, so the first terms, x times x, will give us x squared. And then the outer terms, x times positive 3, will now give us positive 3x. And then for the inner terms, negative 2 times x, that will give us negative 2x. And then for the last terms, negative 2 times positive 3, which is negative 6. And they are equal to equals 14. If we can see, pwede nating i-combine si positive 3x at si negative 2x. So 3x minus 2x will give us positive 1x or just positive x, which will make our equation equal to x squared plus x minus 6 equals 14. And then, let us make this in standard form. Lipat natin si 14 sa kabilang side ni equation. So, kapag naglilipat tayo, we will be changing the sign. Kung positive siya, pag nilipat, magiging negative. Or you can apply addition property of equality by adding negative 14 to both sides of the equation. So, we now have an equation x squared plus x minus 6 minus 14 is equal to 0. And then, we can combine negative 6 and negative 14. So, negative 6 minus 14, that is negative 20. And if you can see, the equation is now factorable. So, i-factor muna natin si x squared. So, i-factor muna natin si x squared. So, the factors of x squared will be x times x. Next, we need to think of factors of negative 20. Ano daw yung factors ni negative 20? Dalawang number, pag minultiply negative 20, at the same time, kapag inad naman natin sila, positive 1 ang lalabas. So therefore, the numbers are negative 4 and 5. Because negative 4 times 5, that will give us negative 20. At the same time, negative 4 plus 5, that will give us positive 1. So the factored form will be x minus 4 times x plus 5 is equal to 0. Since naka-factored form na siya, this is the time that we will be using our zero product property, wherein both factors will be equated to 0. So that will be x minus 4 equals 0. The other one is x plus 5 equals 0. Next, dun muna tayo sa x minus 4 equals 0. I-transpose natin si negative 4 sa kabilang side ng equation. So therefore, the first value of x will be x equals 4. Same process will be applied for x plus 5 equals 0. Ilipat din natin si positive 5 sa kabilang side ng equation. So therefore, the second value of x will be x equals negative 5. So hindi na natin kailangan mag-check kasi hindi naman siya rational equation. So therefore, the solutions are negative 5 and 4. So let us now proceed with example number 2. So we are given with this rational equation. So we have 7 over x plus 3 is equal to x over 4. Since kung mapapansin natin, isang fraction equated to another fraction, we can apply cross multiplication. Pero pwede natin din ditong gamitin yung LCD. Ano bang LCD ni 7 over x plus 3 at saka ni x over 4? So the LCD will be x plus 3 times 4. So para mas madali, i-cross multiply na lang natin siya. Pero sinasabi ko, pwede rin natin gamitin si LCD. Okay, pag i-cross multiply, that will be x times x plus 3 equal to, yung kabilang side naman, so 7 times 4, that will be the equation. Then, let us simplify using distributive property. So x times x plus 3, that will give us x squared. Then, x times positive 3, that will give us positive 3x is equal to 28. Then, we need to transform this one in standard form. I-write natin in standard form. Ilipat natin si 28 sa kabilang side ni equation. For that, as use addition property of equality by adding negative 28 to both sides of the equation. Ayan. Since maglilipat lang naman tayo ng ating equation, gawin na lang natin, i-change natin yung sign ni positive 28. So that will become x squared plus 3x minus 28 is equal to 0. And if you can see, this equation is factorable. So what are the factors of x squared? The factors of x squared, ito, kung side na to, the factors will be x times x. And then, we should think of factors of negative 28. Kapag minultiply natin negative 28, at the same time, kapag kainad natin, positive 3 ang lalabas. So what are those numbers? So the numbers are 7 and negative 4. So let us check. So 7, yun, 7 times negative 4, that will give us negative 28. At the same time, kapag kainad natin itong dalawa, 7 plus negative 3, that will give us positive 3. So what will be the factored form? The factored form will be x plus 7 times x minus 4 is equal to 0. So we will now be applying our zero product property, wherein we will be equating both factors to 0. So that will be x plus 7 equals 0, and then the other one, x minus 4 is equal to 0. Doon muna tayo sa first equation, x plus 7 equals 0. Ilipat lang natin si positive 7 sa kabila, or we can use addition property. So therefore, the first value of x will be x equals negative 7. The other one, x minus 4 is equal to 0. Ilipat si negative 4 sa kabila, it will change its sign. So therefore, x is equal to 4. Hindi pa natin masasabi na si negative 7 at si 4 ang solutions ng mismong ating equation. Kasi, kailangan pa natin siyang i-check since rational equation siya. Okay? Let us substitute the first value of x, which is negative 7, dito sa original equation na to. Okay? So, tingnan natin kung magiging equal ba silang dalawa. Ayan. So, kapag sinubstitute natin, 7 over negative 7 plus 3, equal ba siya kay negative 7 over 4? And if we are going to simplify, equal naman siya. So, therefore, x equals negative 7 is one of the solutions. Okay? So, next, dito naman tayo kay 4. Si 4 naman ang ating isa-substitute dito sa ating mismong equation. Ayan. So, kapag sinubstitute natin, so 7 over 4 plus 3, equal ba siya kay 4 over 4? And if we are going to simplify, equal naman siya. So therefore, x equals 4 is one of our solutions. Since both of the equations satisfy the given original equation, so we can say na the solutions are -7 and 4. Let us now go to our third example. So for the third example, we are given with 12 over x minus 1 minus 8 over x is equal to 2. So if you can see, hindi naman siya fraction equated to another fraction. So we cannot cross multiply. So ang gagawin natin dito, kukuhain natin si LCD. So remember na ang denominator dito ni 2 ay 1. So ayun. Okay? So next, what is the LCD? Take a look at the denominators. So para mas madaling makuha si LCD, kukuhain lang natin yung magkakaibang denominators. So therefore, the LCD will be x times x minus 1. So this LCD, etong LCD na to ngayon, ang ating i-multiply sa ating equation, both sides of the equation. Okay? So if that will be the case, ayan ang original equation, i-multiply natin both sides by the LCD, x times x minus 1. So i-distribute natin, ayan, the LCD na x times x minus 1 multiplied by the first term, which is 12 over x minus 1, magkakaroon tayo ng, ayan, 12 times x minus 1. Okay? Kung mapapansin natin, etong part na to ang ating LCD. Hindi pa natin siya isi-simplify. Hindi pa natin siya i-multiply. Okay? And then, the LCD, doon naman tayo sa pangalawang term, which is -8 over x. So, pag minultiply natin yan, ayan, we have minus 8 times x minus 1 all over x. So, tingnan natin na ito si LCD. At hindi pa natin siya i-multiply lahat. And then, of course, the last term, o yung isang term doon sa kabilang side ni equation. Ayan. Okay? So that will be equal to 2 times x minus 1. Okay? So dito muna tayo sa portion na to ng equation. Ayan. Dito sa portion na to. And if you can see, meron tayo dyang makakancel. Ang makakancel natin will be x minus 1. Since the quotient is just equal to 1. And then dito naman tayo sa second expression na to. So in this case, ang makakancel naman natin will be x, correct? So therefore, dito sa first term na to, ayan, dito sa first term na yan, ang makukuha lang natin will be our 12x. Ito lang yung natira. And then dito naman, sa ating second term, ang makukuha natin will be this 8 and then x minus 1. Yan lang yung matitira. Okay? So let us now have our equation. Ayan. So we have now 12x minus 8 times x minus 1 is equal to 2x. So 2 times x, sinimplify na natin, that will be 2x times x minus 1. Okay? So next, i-distribute naman natin si -8. Yan, si -8 dito sa terms inside the parentheses. So that will become -8x. And then, -8 times -1, that will result to +8. Okay? So tandaan natin yung expression na yan. Ayan. So, -8x plus 8. So, ito yung kanina. After simplifying, and then, we will just copy 12x. And if you will notice, 2x times x, that will result to 2x squared. And 2x times -1 will result to -2x. Okay? So then, anong kasunod na gagawin? If you can see, pwede nating i-combine si 12x minus 8x. So, the result will be 4x. So we will now be having an equation 4x plus 8 is equal to 2x squared minus 2x. And then, let us make it in standard form. Ilipat na lang natin si positive 4x plus 8 doon sa kabilang side ni equation. So mag-iiba lang siya ng sign. So therefore, that will become 2x squared minus 2x. If you can see, this is positive 4x. Pag tinranspose, nagiging negative. Since positive 8 to, kapag tinranspose, magiging negative 8. Okay? So next, we can still simplify negative 2x minus 4x, which will give us the result of negative 6x. So therefore, the equation will be 2x squared minus 6x minus 8. Kung mapapansin natin, si 2x squared, negative 6x, at saka si negative 8, divisible sila lahat by 2. Okay? So para mas madaling mag-solve ng quadratic equation, gagawin natin, i-divide natin lahat by 2. Okay? So if you can see 0 divided by 2, that will be 0. So we can cancel 2. So negative 6 divided by 2, that will give us negative 3. By the way, so this is 1. Yan, 2 divided by 2 is 1. So negative 8 divided by 2, that will give us negative 4. So what will be the result? The result will be 0 equals x squared minus 3x minus 4. Okay? So ngayon, factorable na yan. Ay, paano siya ipa-factor? I-factor muna natin si x squared. Ang factor ni x squared will be x times x. Next, isip tayo ngayon ng factors ni negative 4. Dalawang number kapag minultiply natin negative 4. At the same time, kapag ka-inad natin, kailangan negative 3 ang lalabas. Ano kaya yung mga numbers na yon? So the numbers are negative 4 and 1. So negative 4 times 1 will give us negative 4. At the same time, negative 4, negative 4 plus 1 will give us negative 3. So what will be our factored form? The factored form will be x minus 4 times x plus 1 is equal to 0. Since naka-factored form na siya, we will be applying our zero product property. I-equate natin both factors to 0. So x minus 4 is equal to 0, and then x plus 1 is equal to 0. So next, para ma-solve si x minus 4 equals 0, ilipat lang natin si negative 4 sa kabila. So therefore, we now have the first value of x, which is positive 4. And then, x plus 1 equals 0 naman tayo. Ilipat naman natin si positive 1 sa kabilang side ng equation. So therefore, the second value of x will be negative 1. And by the way, so kung mapapansin mo, etong equation na given natin, ayan, nag-transform siya sa quadratic equation. So dito pa lang sa side na to, ayan, sa point na to, masasabi na natin siya na quadratic equation siya. Since the degree of the equation is 2, or the highest exponent is 2. Okay? So ayan. So yan na ba yung sagot? Negative 4 na ba? At saka negative 1? Yan na ba yung mismong sagot? Hindi pa. Since rational equations ang ating sinolve, kailangan pa natin siyang i-check. So we will be substituting the first value of x to the given equation. Yan. Substitute natin dito si 4. Yan. Okay? So ayan yung magiging resulta. 12 over 4 minus 1 minus 8 over 4, which is equal to 2. So kung mapapansin natin, pwede na pa natin itong i-simplify. 4 minus 1, that will give us 3. So 12 divided by 3, that will be 4. Ayan si 4. And then 8 divided by 2, that will give us 2. So minus. 4 minus 2, that will be 2. Okay? Ayan, di pa natin ito na alam kung equal ba sila. Since after simplifying, 2 is equal to 2, ayan, correct naman. So therefore, we can say that x equals 4 is one of our solutions. So next, ang problema naman natin si x equals negative 1. So etong mga x na to, kailangan naman nating palitan ng negative 1. So if that will be the case, magkakaroon tayo ng ganitong equation. So 12 over 1 minus 1, so ito yung value ni x natin, sinubstitute. And then, if you are going to simplify, negative 1 minus 1, that will give us negative 2. Equal ba siya kay 2? Okay? I-simplify pa natin. 12 divided by negative 2, that will give us negative 6. And negative 8 divided by negative 1, that will give us positive 8. So negative divided by negative, that will be positive. So negative 6 plus 8, so that will be 2. So we can now say, since 2 is equal to 2, si x equals negative 1 is another solution of the given equation. Sir, ano na ngayon ang solution? Ano na ngayon ang sagot? So the solution will be negative 1 and 4. Okay? So let us now proceed with our fourth example. Ayan. Sa una lang mukhang komplikado kasi masyadong mahaba. Pero, ang una lang natin gagawin dyan, we should make sure na yung denominator ay naka-factored form. And if you can see, this x squared plus 5x plus 6 here can be factored as x plus 3 times x plus 2. Okay? Para ma-identify natin agad kung ano yung LCD. So remember, mas madali kapag naka-factored form. At the same time, we will just be getting those factors na magkakaiba. So meron lang naman tayong dalawa dito na factors na magkaiba, which are x plus 2 and x plus 3. So that will be our LCD. X plus 2 times x plus 3. Okay? So next, etong LCD na to, ayan, kailangan natin siyang i-multiply dito sa mismong equation na original equation. Okay? Ayan yung original equation, i-multiply natin both sides by the LCD x plus 3 times x plus 2. Okay? So dito muna tayo sa una. The x plus 3 times x plus 2 na LCD, i-multiply natin sa first term. So that will become x times x plus 3 times x plus 2 all over x plus 2. So if you can see, this part of the expression is the LCD. Hindi pa natin siya i-simplify kasi mamaya may makakancel dyan. Okay? So next, the LCD multiplied by the second term, so that will become plus 2 times x plus 3 times x plus 2. So ayan, eto ulit si LCD. Hindi natin siya i-multiply kay 2. Okay? So next, doon naman sa isa pang term sa kabilang side ni equation. So that will become 5 times x plus 3 times x plus 2 all over x plus 3. Okay? So let us consider that. Ayan. So dito sa ating first term na ito, pwede nating makancel sino? Si x plus 2. Ayan. How about on our second term? Sinong pwedeng i-cancel? So dalawa ang pwede nating i-cancel dyan. Si x plus 3 at saka si x plus 2. And by the way, quotient niyan ay 1. Same with this one, 1. How about doon naman sa term na nasa kabilang side ni equation? Dito sa side na ito, pwede naman nating makancel si x plus 3 since ang quotient niyan ay 1. So anong natira sa atin? Dito sa first term na to, ang natira lang sa atin will be x times x plus 3. Dito sa second term na to, ang natira lang sa atin ay 2. And then, so this one, the other side of the equation, ang natira sa atin 5 at saka x plus 2. So let us have the other equation. Ayan na yung ating equation. So x times x plus 3 plus 2 is equal to 5 times x plus 2. So next, i-distribute lang natin, i-simplify lang natin. So this one, x times x, tapos x times x plus 3. And this one, 5 times x, and then 5 times positive 2, using distributive properties. So magkakaroon tayo ng x squared plus 3x plus 2 is equal to 5x plus 10. Saan nakuha si x squared? X times x. Saan nakuha si 3x? X times 3. Dito, saan nakuha si 5x? 5 times x. Saan nakuha si 10? 5 times 2. Okay? And let us transpose positive 5x plus 10 to the other side of the equation. So magbabago lang ng sign. And if you can see, pwede natin i-combine si 3x at saka si negative 5x. At the same time, si positive 2 at saka si negative 10. So 3x minus 5x, that will give us negative 2x. At the same time, positive 2 minus 10, that will give us negative 8. So kapag simplify natin, we just need to copy x squared. Since wala naman siyang ka-combine dito, or ka-similar yung term. So therefore, our final equation will be x squared minus 2x minus 8 is equal to 0. And then, if you can see, this equation is factorable. And by the way, out of the given original equation, out of the rational equation, nag-come up tayo dito sa equation na to. And if you can see, this equation is already a quadratic equation na factorable at kayang isolve. So let us factor x squared. So the factor of x squared will be x times x. Next, we should think of factors of negative 8. Dalawang number kapag minultiply mo negative 8. At the same time, kapag ka-inad mo, negative 2 ang lalabas. So what are the numbers? The numbers will be negative 4 and 2. Kasi si negative 4, pag minultiply mo siya sa 2, will result to negative 8. At the same time, kapag ka-inad mo si negative 4 kay 2, it will result to negative 2. So therefore, the factored form will be x minus 4 times x plus 2 is equal to 0. Naka-factored form na siya. This is the time that we will be using your zero product property. I-equate natin both factors to 0. Yan, x minus 4 equals 0, x plus 2 is equal to 0. Doon muna tayo sa first equation na x minus 4 equals 0. Ilipat natin si negative 4 sa kabilang side ni equation. So that will result to x equals 4. And then the other one, x plus 2, ilipat naman natin si positive 2 sa kabila. So therefore, the second value of x will be negative 2. Again, hindi pa natin masasabi na si 4 at negative 2 ang solution unless chinek natin from the original equation. So, i-check natin. If x is equal to 4, ayan, so lahat ng x dito ay papalitan natin ng nakuha nating value na 4. Okay? So, that will be 4 over 4 plus 2 plus 2 all over 4 squared plus 5 times 4 plus 6 is equal to 5 over 4 plus 3. So, equal ba sila? Okay? Kapag sinimplify natin yan, ayan, 4 over 6 na to plus 2 all over 4 squared is 16. 5 times 4, that will be 20 plus 6. Is it equal to 5 over 7? Okay? Kailangan maging equal kasi both sides of the equation para maging solution yung given value of x. So, 4 over 6 can be simplified as 2/3. And then 16 plus 20 plus 6, that will be 42. So, that will be 2 over 42. Is it equal to 5 over 7? Kapag sinimplify naman natin si 2 over 42, that will be 1 over 21. So, cross multiplication lang tayo dito, no? For adding fractions. So, 21 times 2, that will be 42. And then, 3 times 1, that will give us 3. So, for the denominator, 3 times 21 lang, which is 63. And if we are going to simplify, 42 plus 3, that will be 45 all over 63. And if you can see, these two, 45 and 63 are both divisible by 9. So, 45 divided by 9, that will be 5. And then 63 divided by 9, that will be 7. And if you can see, equal sila. Ayan. So, check. Equal sila. So, therefore, si x equals 4 ay isa sa ating solutions. Pero paano naman si x equals negative 2? So, i-check naman natin. Ayan. I-substitute lang natin si negative 2 dito sa lahat ng x na yan. Okay? Ayan. So, if you can see, ayan, na-substitute na natin. So, negative 2 plus 2, that will be 0. And then, negative 2 squared, that will be 4. Positive 5 times negative 2, that will be negative 10 plus 6 is equal to 5 over 1. Kasi negative 2 plus 3, that will be 1. Equal ba sila? And if you can see, dito pa lang sa side na to ng equation, si negative 2 over 0, parang may something na. Kasi, we cannot have a denominator of 0 because it will be undefined. So therefore, since undefined na siya, we can say that negative 2 is not a solution. Okay? And negative 2 is what do we call as an extraneous root. Okay? So anong sagot? Ano ngayon na magiging final answer natin dyan? So the final answer will be the only solution of this given rational equation turned to a quadratic equation will be x equals 4. Okay? 4 lang ang solution since si negative 2 ay extraneous solution. So, it's your turn. So, solve for the following equations, transformable to quadratic equation. So, please pause the video and try solving the following items. Ang kasunod na nito will be our answer. So what are your answers? Let us find out. So for item number 1, the values of x must be negative 2 and 5. And then for number 2, it should be no real solution. So kung natuto ka for today, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more video lessons. And this is Sir Jude. Kita ulit tayo sa susunod na video lesson ha. Good day!